Merci de s'être fidèle. Nous te pour un coup de pause. M'a rappelé nous sur 1580 M 19.5 FM n'a suivi Kijan show avec Francesca. M'a rappelé nous encore nous gain Vice Mayor Coral Spring qui c'est Metayer Bowen qui c'est un Asian American qui a fait un travail positif dans city là. Li content avec nous matin, li a cette invitation là. N'a posé les premières questions. Qui j'en li senti pour dans nouvelle année parce que l'année dernière nous te recevoir qui j'en lié et ou parlons de ou encore pour moun qui pas la dernière fois dans la première émission parlez nous de où quand sorti parcours jusqu'à Kounia.
Pas de problème. Bonsoir tout le monde. Merci Diana pour l'invitation. Moi c'est Nancy Metayer Bowen qui servit Vice Magistrat Coral Springs. I am an environmental scientist. I am a public servant. I am a true organizer and believe in organizing our community and ensuring that they have access to resources so they are able to thrive. So, m'dare me dit tout moun qui attendait moi jodi an, moi c'est un moun qui prend position ça. It's very important to me. So, m'vle make sure tout moun qui na ville, qui na Broward, qui na South Florida has access, is able to have them get the resources they are able to thrive essentially. So that's a little bit about myself. I've been in my role now for about, I want to say 6 years. That went by really quick. Non position non pour 6 ans. I have till 2028, but si on va être changer, I'm happy to take on new opportunities.
Thank you so much. Since ou Vice Mayor, est-ce que ou pas rencontré des difficultés as a black Asian woman?
Right now, on connaît grand pile parler de TPS. Grand pile moun qui relè biwom nan kap mande pour service, kap mande pour assistance. I am one of the individuals le yo te extend TPS. Moi te fait un programme pour licence pour moun qui pas ka joindre licence ou pas ka joindre appartement pour yo renou licence yo. Moi fait un programme pour gratis pour moun qui besoin qui ka vini pour faire refaire licence yo.
Let's say est-ce que tout bagay OK jusqu'à maintenant j'ont ta vle dérouler pour tout projet côté gain pour
Yeah, we had to pivot. Ndege projet m'devle commencer année, but avec Powell qui TPS, Ice by Sayon qui in South Florida, en pile moun peu, yo pas vle participer dans programme yo, so I had to shift. I had to shift around programming that allowed people, that ensured people felt safe. Ça veut dire programme assistance. Si moun ta besoin par la vem, I shift my office hours pour téléphone or sous ordinateur pour moun pa. So there's not a fear there. I would love to do more work around plaisir, but unfortunately we're not in a space right now politically where people feel like they can go out and about and feel safe.
OK. Moi ou remet environnement pile ou lance nan projet environnement pour côtoyer.
Yes.
Et qui ça pour ça intégrer dans environnement t'es aller dans l'autre secteur why ou choisir environnement?
Because I come from a family of farmers. Moi c'est mon gonaïve la plein, mon qui sorti gonaïve yo. Ça c'est quand me sorti. So I grew up where my upbringing was around from the of the environment and making sure that we sustained our environment. So what can I do to protect and ensure that other people have access to those to have access to fresh foods, produce, etc. So I decided to go into the policy route. So that's why I'm in the environment sector. It's very important to me. It's personal. It's something that I've always been around, and I am very proud to be an environmental scientist.
And ki mesaj ou gen pou jeune femme ki ta reme pran menm cheme avon nan public services, jeune black Asian American women ki vle pran menm cheme avon?
Now is the time. If you are a young person, a Black person, Haitian American, your voice is needed now more than ever. So don't be scared. Don't have anxiety. Don't have doubts. Put yourself out there. The worst that can happen is someone saying no, but you will find your way. It's super important for you to understand what you bring to the table. And when you understand that, that is your superpower. So, sa mdare me di tout jen yo, please stay in school, stay educated, and really, really invest in your future. And your future can be your education, your business, but more so to the ones who want to be an elected official, volunteer on someone's campaign, shadow. I have a shadowing program. You're more than welcome to come and spend time with me in City Hall and learn about what I do, because there's less than 2% women who run for office and even less Black women who are elected today. So, really, really want you all to understand that your voice is needed right now.
And ki long term vision gen pou Coral Spring for the 5 next year?
For the next 2 years, I have big aspirations for Coral Springs. I want Coral Springs to have a thriving downtown, for us to finally have a solid waste agreement with Broward County, and to also have folks who represent us both on the state and federal level that will continue advocating and fighting for us. Who knows? I'll probably be one of those people in the near future.
Okay, thank you. And my before last question, ça c'est pas last question mais and ndame yes. Ndame a little bit ma connais pour nous de faire première fois pour parler de parcours éducatif ou education before you become a vice mayor. What did you do before?
Yeah, before I became the vice mayor, I did great work, I believe. So I got my undergraduate degree from Florida A&M University in Tallahassee. Then I went on to go get my master's degree at Johns Hopkins University, where my specialization was environmental health sciences, and I got a certification around emergency management, water quality. And then I went on to work in many levels of government. I worked at the White House as an intern and presidential personnel, then as an associate. Also had an opportunity to work in Haiti with a few nonprofits around water quality and access to public health, and then came back here to South Florida and worked as a climate justice organizer, making sure that folks understood how climate change directly impacted them. So my work has always been rooted in advocacy, has always been rooted in empowering our community and ensuring there's equity, everything centered in equity.
And est-ce que vous satisfait de travail jusqu'à maintenant dans City Coral Spring là?
Yeah, très content, fière. Moi, c'est première haïtienne, première femme noire qui monte pouvoir dans Coral Springs. And so, m'dare continuer, m'dare plus moun noir, plus haïtienne, prend pouvoir dans Coral Springs. I led a legacy had the first ever sustainability office. And then was able to have the first ever international dinner dance. For 20 years, they've had international dinner dance, and last year Haiti was the theme. And so, with being able to bring my culture, being able to amplify my culture from my seat, that is something I'm very proud of.
And est-ce essaye fait différence là entre City Coral Spring et l'autre city yo? Qui sont ouais que Coral Spring gagne que l'autre pas gagne ou bien ça l'autre gagne que Coral Spring pas gagne?
I'm a little biased, so I'm gonna say that my city is the best city in Broward County. Just based on the aesthetics, we're diverse, we're inclusive, like I mentioned to you before, when folks were the TPS issue, I jumped at the opportunity to do a license renewal, was embraced, community participated. So we have something special in Coral Springs. My colleagues and I get along very well. And we want what's best for our city. Unfortunately, that's not something that I see across other cities. There's always friction with other elected officials, and that kind of gets in the work of them doing business.
Well, thank you. And let's say, est-ce que ou gen projet ko ta reme partager et pas futur projet non, on dit des programmes qu'on habitué faire dans city là, est-ce gen qui a vinn qui en cours ou ta reme faire annonce là pour auditeur yo ka imbu de yo.
Yes, we have a program with our autistic students, our youth, where we provide free violin lessons. So, program ça va commencer. Si tu as plus d'informations, relais-moi, puis ma bonne information ça. I really care about our youth. I want to make sure they have access to other opportunities. We've also opened our museum to include programming for folks with mental illness and autism. So we have special programming for them. So please check out all our programming at the Museum of Art, Coral Springs Museum of Art, to learn about any upcoming exhibits or programming happening there.
Okay, thank you so much. And this gonna be my last question, but I'm not gonna keep you so much. And Kijan balancer parce que moi ou vraiment involved dans environnement, dans situ là, and your wife. How do you balance your life?
That's the That is a very, very good question. I make it work. And des fois, like sometimes my husband has to help and help and clean. That's a partnership, right? And then there are certain times where I have to say no. There are times when I can't do everything, but I find ways for me to show up the best way that I can. And so I'm constantly trying to find balance. I'm not saying I get it perfectly every time, but I try. And I my number one priority is showing up for my family, my community, and my city.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for having us. Thank you d'escorter à cette invitation. And I don't wanna. I'm not gonna finish without saying that because my team and the radio and I want to. I don't want pas dire en anglais. Nous voulons parler de récemment your loss about your brother. We are deeply sorry about that, and nous voulons présenter sincères condoléances parce que nous étions en train de faire ça, pas de faire ça au début, but nous pas de finir l'émission sans que nous pas parler de ça. And we're very sorry. We are here with you. Anything you wanna talk about? Even especially you talk about the program you have for autistic children, and yes, and anything you wanna tell or talk about that on the radio, we are here for you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for the condolences. My family and I are still processing our grief one day at a time, but really want to share with folks if they are battling suicidal thoughts or want to inflict harm on themselves, please dial 211 and they will direct you to a suicide hotline. It is not something that I am ashamed of. I'm deeply proud of my brother and love him very much. Unfortunately, he was battling issues with mental health, and that is nothing that we could have helped him with. And that is a problem in our country where there is not enough resources to address mental health. So, in my seat, I will continue advocating for those resources. I will continue ensuring that folks have access to those resources and understand that there's no stigma around mental health. Being able, it's like any other illness, whether it's cardiac, whether it's a cold. Make sure you go and get checked, evaluated, get on the medications you need to make sure that you feel better. Unfortunately, that was not the case for my brother, and he died by suicide. And I will continue advocating for more resources around this particular illness.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here with us this morning. See you next time and have a great day. Thank you so
You
much.
too. Alrighty. Bye bye.
Bye bye.